All right. A lot of energy. Perhaps you also sensed the difference, sensed the beauty, sensed the abundance. But if you didn't, don't worry about it. It will reveal itself in the coming days. The change is complete. You have expanded. You have gathered from the beautiful unknown. And so we have time for questions. John, who begins and can they unmute themselves?
No, they can't. How? Uh,
Yep. Hi, Tara.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yep, you're good.
Yeah.
all right. Tell us, where do we begin?
So I slipped out of the last meditation, so I don't really have a lot of recollection of it. So life is very exciting right now. Was at Sundance for 2 weeks. It was a blast. And um on Sunday, I finished the second draft of the movie script. I think it came out really well. I could be, I'd like your opinion, but I think I filled in like the big gaps. Um, and I feel like it's time to, it's still quite rough, but I feel like it's a really strong foundational document with everything in there, and it's time for somebody else to take it over. Um, and so I'm very excited about that. And other things are happening. Like I reached out to the synagogue. The rabbi has been urging me to do something, and I gave him a list of three, like I could do story plus Q&A time, and here are my topics, and he loved it. And there's just a lot of things in motion. And what I realized was I've always believed, there's so many people in your community, the Lazarus community, that are, for example, psychic, that have these obvious gifts. And I've always thought, even though I think everybody's psychic, I'm not overtly psychic because I'd be too arrogant if I had such a obvious gift. And now that and I feel like now there's something that needs healing because I'm so excited about the movie. I think it's really, really, really good. But I'm very clear on one hand that um I think I channeled it, like it wasn't actually me writing it. Like I'd wake up in the morning, I'd sleep, I'd lie awake in bed. I'd have a chat with my higher self or my unseen friends. They'd tell me what to write, and after breakfast, I'd write it. It wasn't really me. It was me just channeling. And and so like as I'm looking for, now I need to find an agent or producers, somebody to kind of really refine the dialogue, uh, edit it, cut it down. Um, there is this just, I do like I have, it's so good. I'm completely confident that I'm going to be finding all the right people. And how do I not give it over to my negative ego and feel arrogant about it? And is there something that actually needs healing? And and then the flip side is, how do I make sure the people who are excited about it join the team and it's not people who just want to make money? Because I think it's going to make a lot of money. This is not an independent Sundance film. This is a mainstream film. Uh, yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, so just in the way that you are speaking about it, your clarity, that your conviction, all of that is supporting the movement forward, isn't it? You have a clear sense of direction. This is what I want for this script. This is the feedback I've gotten for it. I've done my second round on the editing and all of that, writing it in such a way that it incorporates some of the feedback that you got. And now, having been at Sundance, you have a much greater sense of where your work fits into the bigger picture. So you are now understanding, oh, this could be mainstream. This, I don't need to relegate it to an independent small film that hopefully someone will watch. You actually are rising up to being willing to have greater impact, because that's truly what it is, isn't it? How when you touch the heart and the soul of many, that is impact. And with that, absolutely, there is a precedent for the director getting credit where it is due, the actors get credit, the writing team gets credit, but usually it's the director and the key actors, isn't it?
Right. That's right. Yeah, the writers in the background, and yes.
And so as you define, what do you want out of it for yourself? What's important about it for you? How does it elevate your own sense of self and your connection and all of your priorities, your values of what's important to you? And you've been working your way through that. And as you really let in, oh, okay, this isn't me, the ego, that wrote this script. It's coming from me, the more. And me, the more, is by definition connected to higher self, connected to my unseen friends, to the unseen realm. Will you be able to share that? Well, you will in one-on-one with other creative people who will say, yeah, that's how I create. Some do create that way. And oftentimes it is those who have that connection with the unseen realm where the work transcends current reality, becomes timeless, for instance, communicates on many levels messages that are relevant to whoever is watching or listening or reading. And so for you, how do you keep it from going to your negative ego? Well, negative ego only becomes negative when the ego is asked to give meaning, to interpret reality. When the self I decides not to give meaning. So what is the difference? It's a subtle thing. So there's Helen standing in your authority, knowing that you wrote the best script that you can write, and that it wasn't you alone that wrote it, but you had much input from others, from higher self, from other realms, and from other people as well. And you can simply stand in the safety and the belonging that creative process brings you. And then when someone reads it and gives feedback, you interpret it through that lens of yeah, this was a creative process, and it matters whether it has value to others. And so when you listen from that place, you're listening for, how can I improve it, or what might I have missed that is not from my own in my own perceptions, allowing others to have impact on you. If you were in your negative ego, then you would take feedback and you wouldn't respond from a place of loving yourself more, but would maybe diminish yourself, or you would perhaps, if it's a negative ego, meaning you deferred the meaning to your ego, not your self-I. Instead of just receiving the input, then you want to decide who's going to interpret the feedback. Am I going to let my lesser self from my past, who needs to keep me safe, interpret reality? Or am I going to connect with my higher self and look for the value that the feedback brings, what to accept in and what to reject? Because not all feedback is equal. Not all feedback is appropriate for you, but it is coming to you from your illusion. And so any feedback can be valuable. And so here you stand knowing that you have something that can be valuable if it is produced in the correct way, if it is marketed, if it has the right team of people working on it. And that is actually the truth with any creative work, isn't it? And so as you dream that dream, before you even reach out to others, as you see that imagery of the team that's working on it, and then the outcome and the Academy Award and the movie theaters filled, or if it's going to be a theater work, to see the theaters filled, as you allow yourself to dream the dream, then you become the attractor. The resonance that you are standing in attracts that team, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so then you can always ask yourself, why might you resist any of that? What does the lesser self fear say? That it's not going to be valued, that they're going to reject you? What comes up automatically? You've already worked through so much of it. It's really just the child and the adolescent and the automatic patterns that might still be there in moments where you reached for something beyond what you currently were. So that would be the energy that you're looking for. When in my life have I stepped into something new, and was I well received? Was it expansive? Was it positive? And there are many examples of that. Or are there one or two still holding out that say, no, it's dangerous to step out, that you can get hurt or you can get rejected? And if that's still there, and we're not sure that it is, but if it is still there, then you know you have the tools to deal with that. So what are you noticing?
Um, I mean, it's interesting as you say that. I mean, there are a lot of fears I have around negotiating and building a team, but then actually kind of what popped up instantly for me is like, well, Harry's really good at that. I'm just gonna let Harry deal with this kind of stuff. And so I think I have a bigger support system than I've had in the past. Uh, and I mean, because I think for me, I want, I have this idea for a TV series, and I'm ready to like write the TV series. And I think it's I want creative um, input on changes that are made, but the directors change so much of the script. It doesn't need to be polished. And, there's somebody who's from a Jewish heritage that needs to take a look and work on the next draft. And there's somebody who's really good at dialogue that needs to work on the next draft. I feel like what I've contributed is done, but and I want to have creative to have creative consultation when they do tweak it, when the director's chosen. I do want to be part of, um, building the team. I'm not a good negotiator, but Harry's an amazing negotiator. And so I kind of feel like I don't need to deal with a lot of the negotiation. I can just say, Harry, you deal with it and let him take it on. So I, that's what feels really different is I feel like I don't have to do all protecting that I had to protect myself from in the past. And I'd really like this more to be a platform for me to be that big public authority, to start leading dialogues on how like Arab Americans or Palestinian Americans and Jews in America can start coming together and having dialogue. And I think I'm ready to be that person. And I think what's interesting is for the last couple weeks, I've been, whenever there's somebody Jewish around that I realize is Jewish, I just kind of like throw out a fishing line, where I make sure I weave into the conversation in a really casual, almost usually kind of joking way that they know I'm Palestinian American. And like this gives them a safe opportunity if they want to like start having a dialogue with a Palestinian American, because the rabbi made me really, he's like, most Jews have never talked to a Palestinian before. Not that, I mean, like I'm born and raised in the US. I don't think of myself as Palestinian. And not one of them has taken me up when I like throw this fishing line out. And I realize how scared. I'm sure they're dying of curiosity to ask me a question, but like zero of them have done it. Except today, we were having lunch with one of our brokers, and I didn't realize he was Jewish. Harry knew he was Jewish. And and he absolutely took the fishing line. But I've now known him for like 10 years and he's never asked me about it. But he's had conversations with me for 10 years. And so he felt safe doing so. So it's interesting. I feel confident. I feel confident I know what I'm doing. I don't feel the fear that I've had for the most part in the past.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And so you are ready.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel ready. I am ready. Yeah. Yeah. Harry wants me to write a treatment. So there's just like, you can write a 2-page summary of a movie and a 10-page summary of a movie. And he's like, before you start reaching out to people, have the treatment ready. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do the 2-pager and then maybe I'll work on the 10-pager. But I'm going to do that. And then I'm hoping by the end of the week, I'll just start reaching out to people and looking for producers and maybe an agent and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Yes, it's very exciting. Very exciting.
It is absolutely. You can really see the progress you have made from when you first began writing to this point in time. And so the next vision of who you are becoming is important to direct the activity. So to see it as already done. What must you, what does the you that already has completed it know about herself? What can she share with you? Working with that optimal future self in that way to bring in those resonances that are important to defining that team that you are a part of, that you not just inspire to be created, but are a part of also. So what's important about being the authority, having that authorship, be an integral part of the experience for you? Does that help?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. And um, I'm gonna have to think about that. And I think like I was thinking I'd want to be a producer, but I don't think I want to be a producer. I want to start writing the TV series. But one of the key functions of a producer is to raise money, and I'm really good at that. So I think I am willing to be part of the fundraising part, which would give me a producer credit. But I don't want to do anything like I don't want to actually do the rest of the production, like let somebody else who knows what they're doing and all the organizational details. But so I do need to think about what does that mean? Because I've fundraised millions for businesses and nonprofits over the years, and I'm very good at it. Um, so I'm actually good at the hardest. I'm good at the hardest thing, like one of the hardest tasks that there is. And but then I don't want to work on the, coordinating all the people and the tasks of actually producing the movie. Um, so yeah, I guess I need to figure out what that looks like. I haven't thought about it.
All right, wonderful.
Thanks, Tara.
Yes, we love you so. You're right on track.
Take it off.
Yes, where do we begin?
Well, I feel it's such an exciting time for all of us with so many things happening and so many changes happening. And I got very sick last night. And I feel that it's even selfish to even ask about that it just seems like and I don't get sick very often. It throws me so off. And it puts me in a place of the most extreme doubt and failure thinking. And questioning everything. So I don't know what more to say. I had thought before the meditation there was something more I had a better question to ask. And
And so do you still have symptoms or have they disappeared?
no, I'm not able to even get up out of bed. I'm pretty sure it's food poisoning. Um uh which seems like something fairly simple, but it just throws me off.
Yes. So let's say that it is food poisoning. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's just that your physiology is responding to ingesting something that doesn't suit you. Something energetic is interfering with the digestion process, would you say?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so, from a metaphorical standpoint, digesting information, digesting circumstance, being confronted in some way with a future, whether it's something you want or don't want, can often lead to the physiology of, I don't want to accept this information, or I
Mm-hmm.
know this information isn't for me, though I have taken it in somehow. So, for instance, the first question to ask, and just close your eyes and ask your higher self if there's anything, foreign energies that are not yours, to simply just lift them from you so that you can deal with what's yours.
Mm.
And then as that's released, now you can think in terms of, okay, is this about me current time? Being in a new situation? Is it about my adolescent or my child?
Mm. Is that a question for me to answer?
For you to answer for yourself. You can share.
Okay.
What's important is to understand that your body is bringing up a template of reaction that comes about when something is a threat of some kind. So it's probably not what's obvious, but it could be that you encountered a situation or information that has triggered something within you at a deep level, not necessarily from this lifetime. So when you can't find it in your child or your adolescent, look to other lifetimes, because you are here to do that work. And are you still in New Mexico? Are you still in the place you were in last week?
I'm in a completely different place in Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
and
so,
I'm in a place where I came here to go to some very out of the way pyramids, a place where I've been to before that I want to bring a group next year. And it's a very special place. And so I'm meeting people and very special people who are making movies about these play. I mean, it's just on one hand, there's so many synchronicities that seem so special. And then I even have questions sometimes like, what's the meaning of all that? Is this the main thing I should focus on? Is this really helpful for myself and other people? It's quite, yeah. So
so putting aside the doubt that just represented, and just being fully present to the future. Oh, this, what would be fun would be. And so put it in the context of, would it be fun to bring a group? Sounds like it would be. And as you explore more and begin to think in terms of infrastructure and what would be entailed, what would be your responsibility, what would be their responsibility, what would keep it fun for you? What part do you want to play in it? Just as Helen is determining, I want to play these roles, but I don't want it to be all of it. I just want it to be some of it. I want it to stay fun and flexible and inspiring. So as you apply that same sort of consideration to the future, the optimal future you who has conducted the tour or the gathering that you are inspired to envision, the you that has had the best experience, the best possible experience, let her gift you with the information. What role is important for you to play? To what degree do you do the orchestrating, and to what degree do you have somebody else do some of the infrastructure? That's one level of it. But now let's talk about the earth consciousness that is there, and the archetypes, the pyramid power, the sacred geometry that is at play there, and the
Yeah.
lifetime, the many
And
lifetimes.
I will say that I did talk with you when I was up near Mexico City when I was at this other pyramid. And I felt I was given a message by spirit to come here and take this on. And this part of my trip wasn't pre-planned. It's, like I said, it's a place I came here. So much of my life has been devoted to coming to these sacred sites, and I'm picking that back up, and it's exciting, and I want to share that, and I want to connect other people. So I feel like I was given a message, and then I come here, and this person introduces me to that person, and that person introduces me to that person. So all of a sudden, I have the tour guide and the transportation and everything, and so that's all real exciting. Um,
And that's how
and
you
then I,
can validate I'm on track, because it's
uh-huh.
easy. There's an elegance to it. It's just spontaneously coming together. And
Yes.
all, and it's revealing itself. It's more of a revealing than it is an efforting, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, beautiful.
And then getting so sick brings up it. So maybe it's just a place. I guess this is my question. It's like, so when this kind of, I don't even know if I want to call it an obstacle because it doesn't necessarily become an obstacle for this dream of the trip, but it becomes deeper questionings about myself. Um, am I on track? My deep question I walk with all the time: where should I live? Where do I fit in? Where should I be? And when I get sick, I feel the most vulnerable.
Yes. It makes sense, perfect sense that depending on where you are and the resources you have access to and a sense of safety and all of that. So you can restore your sense of safety through meditation, through as you did this evening, going to your safe place and recharging and regrouping and having your higher self bring in new energies. And it does make a difference. And now with food poisoning, being in a situation where it did anybody else get sick? Was it just you? Is there something to be aware of? So think of it in terms of the future creating the present. What's valuable about your experience that will make someone else's journey easier when you guide them in the process? Are there resources that you're going to become aware of because of this experience that you wouldn't have even looked for before, but that are actually quite important when you bring people from uh, somewhere else into a situation? It's important to have that sense of, okay, this is if you get food poisoning, this is what you got to do. This is what the resources that are available. On an energy level, we want you to give your body permission to heal it quickly. That, okay, I got the message. I'm going to have something in place. I'm going to assess my vulnerability, my physical vulnerability that looks a lot like food poisoning. And if I'm dealing with food poisoning, then I also know that in 24 hours I will be fine as it passes through, or as I take uh, whatever is your usual go-to for balancing your digestion after something like that. Not that it happens very often, but when you have the tools you need, then the body can relax and can deal with what it needs to deal with. On an energy level, we want you to also tap into, there are frequencies here that are activating, that are powerful activators or activators of power. Where am I reluctant to harness that energy that's available to me? The me that is more powerful is emerging. And what about that is unsettling or threatening? And this is where the past lives come in, we assure you. It doesn't make sense in the current lifetime so much. But you have had many lifetimes where you have taken a powerful stance, where you have been magical and powerful and effective and a leader and have had impact. And that's what's coming up is, okay, I'm dreaming this dream of what would be fun for me to do. I'm going to be leading others. I'm going to be a support system for others. I know I can do it. I've done it in many situations. But what about this place represents being powerful? And as
You
you
know,
work,
one thing that came up for me is as I was trying to review, what did I eat? What could it have been? And I thought, I don't think it's the food at the restaurant, which is what I was profusely vomiting up. And only this afternoon I realized, oh, I bought some what's called crema. It's like sour cream at a little tiny market. And it wasn't in a container. It was like a little neighborhood market where they make more money. And when and a part of me, having been a world traveler my whole life, can be a little bit arrogant. Oh, I eat street food. You know, although I don't do that quite as arrogant as I used to do when I was young. I do try to pay attention, but I didn't pay attention. Some part of me thought, I don't know if you should eat that. And so that's a piece also about me not paying attention and bringing an illness on myself, which represents lots. You know, there was a piece also that I was in this bar watching the Super Bowl, and I wanted to watch Bad Bunny, and it was so powerful for me what it represented, the Hispanic people that I love so much. And nobody was really being quiet enough to really take it in and listen to it. And that upset me. And I couldn't hear, so there was just a lot. It's how I feel sometimes. Like sometimes there's just so many pieces mishmashed together, how to take it apart and what piece is it that I need to pay attention to or didn't pay attention to. And then I just feel weak and I don't know.
and yet understanding, oh, there was an intuition that had I let it be more
Loud.
relevant, I could have avoided
Mhm.
this potentially. Absolutely.
Right.
That and that in itself is a healing. Oh, okay. That inner is helping me. I'm not necessarily giving it enough weight at times, but it is there at work, helping me always.
Right. So then it comes to me that here's another opportunity to forgive myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as you give your body what it needs, okay, what was the consequence? Well, I'm taking a time out from life.
Mhm.
I'm having to get alone. I'm having to tend to myself. I'm needing to recharge my energy. So that's the consequence. So now you can see, oh, okay, it is important to recharge.
Mhm.
It is important to get some space from others. Having been in a very social setting, I do need to center and get quiet and connect with something more. And maybe
Mhm.
if you're able to go to the pyramids and sit on the earth and let it fill you, let it
Mhm.
balance those energies.
Absolutely. Yes.
And as you say, and just forgive yourself. Okay, I like to be strong all the time. I like to be on the go. I'm in this new place. I should be on the go. I should be doing. I should be have momentum. And now I've just stopped it short. And so there's that beating yourself up that we hear. And I did
Mhm.
it wrong. I shouldn't have a timeout. I shouldn't have this happening with my body. And so
Mhm.
as you just look to see, okay, so what's the impact of getting food poisoning? Well, I have to be still. I have to listen. I have to
Mhm.
assess. I have to rebalance. I have to and yeah, there is that sense of time lost, but it's not time wasted because
Yes.
what you're doing is you're rebalancing the energies in yourself so that you can deal with more on the external side.
Yes. Yes. I live my life where I'm not really busy a lot. And all of a sudden this week I felt like I was busy, but it all felt like exciting things. Okay, I think you've given me a lot to work with. Thank you very much.
Yes, and how wonderful that it can just be a 24-hour thing. It can be a blip, but it's valuable for the plan that you have in the future as you understand, well, what would happen if I have a tour with people and one of the people gets food poisoning?
Mhm.
How do I want to handle that? Am I going to have compassion? Am I going to give them some space? Can I give them some guidance?
Mhm.
Or is it going to be inconvenient? Is it going to be a stress on the whole group? Can I allow the information of what's happening with me now be in the context of what I'm creating in the future and have it be beneficial?
Right.
Oh, I've been there. I know what you're dealing with. You're going to need some time to yourself, but we're still going to keep doing the group activities.
Mhm.
So maybe you may find that, oh, in the structuring of things, you build in some more quiet time, or you may or have some sort of plan B for the people who just need time to themselves to integrate the
Mhm.
and that sort of,
Mhm.
and you don't, right now it doesn't make sense because you're not with the group, but knowing that you're designing that future, it already exists. It's already having impact on you. And so allow the optimal future you who has a wonderful magical experience to be gifting you with intuitions and understandings and all of that, so that you don't have to live it all out, but let this one be, oh, okay, I'm going to gain compassion from this,
Mm.
or whatever.
Okay. Yep. How to have compassion for myself.
Yes. And for others if they end up in your situation.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, we love you, so you're right on
Thank
track.
you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, John, who is next?
Should have been Francis, but he's dropped out. It appears.
All right, and so who is next?
Monica.
I'm here. Hi,
All right.
beautiful Tara.
Yes, dear one, where do we begin?
Beautiful Tara. That was an amazing, like always, and I saw it very clearly. I'm a little bit right now. I'm having some situations in my life, and I don't, and so I'm a little bit out of alignment or a little bit lost at this moment. Um, I had two individuals that want to create me a problem, but I'm again part being connected. Um um where I'm at right now, I need to be there, because to be a nurse, survival of the fittest, I need food, I need shelter, I need safety, I need water, I need peace. Um, I'm not up in the stars where everything's peaceful. Things happen, right? A solar flare pops out, a dwarf, a comet, but I'm here on Earth, so we feel. Even though I block my emotions, but anyway, that's another topic. My point is, well, what is it? I'm really feeling a little bit of fear, but I'm coming down. Please, no, just anything on that, because I do call my higher self. I've gone through a lot. I've gone through humans where they wanted to like be ugly. A lot of them, different scenarios. I mean, a lot, maybe 40, 20 all at once. And I was like, you know, between good and bad, I look at intelligence. Okay, bad. I don't want to mess with you. You do your thing. I'm not in charge of you. Why you want to mess with one person? You know the consequence of it. Sorry, that's my thinking. Works for me, and they seem to go away. I've been able to get out, and yeah, I know I'm going to get out of it, but just with one individual, his wording. So I know there's trouble behind there. I really saw the things he's done, and the other one is like, hey, mind your business. If you pay there, stick to your thing, because one thing I notice with people, they think their thinking is right all the time. It's not like that. Mind your own business. The bottom line is, if so you look at someone when they have safety, they need food, but all many different religions, and look within yourself, and you be a better person. You be a better person. The earth is very powerful, and that's why nature gets stronger and stronger, because they're so ignorant. They're destroying more. They want to make more money with these plans, and then their body decomposes. And where does the soul go if they believe in it? Because they do have a soul. Uh, Up there is not about money. They know where they go. If they want to know where they're going, there's the answers right there. Now, with I want to comment something about this. The bee. He should stand his ground, meaning you do your performance instead of being involved in the political, because his thinking is not right. It's just not right. It's stepping out of boundaries. This, peace. Well, peace is very important. I want to thank the Buddhist monks for their courage, and I hope that when they get there, what I wish I will love is the interstellar object get closer, and I wish that the commander in chief shake their hands or give him an honor code, because it would mean a lot to the world. And there's a lot of respect for the commander in chief that's now in this country, in the U.S. That is my intake. But then I have another important question. But I just want to know for myself, is it the alignment of the star, or is it part of my growth? Because I don't like this. I just put my human body in a very drastic form in this past 3 days. And I have to go to it again this weekend. So can you just tell me, am I out of alignment? Or is it the star came in closer or something with myself? I apologize to any human being. I think of them, I am not the creator, and I respect everybody. But worry for yourself and wash your mouth, because the words do hurt. We don't want someone hurting you. It'll come back. The humans use karma, but I don't know if it's karma up there. All I know is that you be the best person yourself. History teaches, and they're ignorant, and apologize to Mother Earth for the ignorance of humanity. But my point is right now, well, what do I do myself? The meditation again? Maybe. I mean, I do know the answer. Maybe because I'm a little bit upset, the human emotion. I'm a little bit upset because people put their reason. It's like you cross me. I think I know why. You're not gonna be in front of me if I didn't create no problem for you, but I know your intention, so it means I have to say aloud you've done other bad things.
All
I'm
right.
not gonna say.
So let's have a look at, okay, you just had this experience in your illusion. These players, so you wrote the script where you say something, they say something back, or they say something at you, and you have a certain feeling. It's not for no reason. It's to remind you of what's still in there that needs to be healed. So if there are words out here that hurt you, that you have an emotional response to of hurt, that's one possible scenario. But the script that you probably have, we would say, in your past, has something anchored there. A childhood hurt or an adolescent hurt. It's important to have compassion for yourself first and say, okay, how is this familiar to me? How is this? It's having impact on me. When it happens, I get this way. I think these thoughts. I have these feelings. I don't remember in that moment that this out here is my illusion. It's something to be avoided. It's something to be reacted to. I'm in survival, which is the lesser self. The lesser self is the strategies of the child and the adolescent. So if the child has a strategy of anger or rejection or getting alone, whatever the strategy is when she is hurt, then it's important to know, okay, that is an old pattern. And as long as I think the world out here is real and is something to be survived, that strategy makes sense. But when you step into the you, the spiritual adult you, who is connected with your higher self, as you are, I'm aware of earth consciousness. I know the earth loves me. I'm aware of my higher self. I know my higher self loves me. And I know that I am a soul having a physical experience. And so it's important for me to pay attention to these signals. But what do I want to create instead? So I just created a circumstance where I feel hurt. Now, I could spend a whole lot of energy being angry and rejecting and rebelling and convincing others how hurt I am. I can spend a whole lot of time on that. I can spend years on that. But that's not who you are. Who you have become is someone who begins to look within and says, wait a minute, even though I just created that on some level, I allowed it on 99.9%. But as I know I'm creating my own reality, what do I want instead? What would have been a more beneficial illusion? How do I want to feel during my day? What do I want to think? What do I want to believe about myself? So as you begin to have new thoughts, new feelings, new beliefs, new attitudes, making a choice begins with making that choice. I want a different reality. I don't want this old stuff anymore. Because when I think this is the way it is, I lose energy. I lose momentum. I forget who I am. And I also am not able to see who others are. Because I'm listening to the words they say, and there is no opening to talk about something more important. There is no opening to be spiritual. And so there comes a time when you begin to choose relationships based on being free to be who you are. So this person, you might not even be in a relationship so much as they're just there and they have that impact on you. But everything out here is a gift for you. Everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it is an opportunity for you to grow. However, you don't have to continue to manifest stuff you don't want. It is always there to benefit you, but it's also there to remind you, hey, you could be choosing something different. Who are you going to be today? So just take a moment, close your eyes, and call your higher self in. And just clear the screen of that interaction with that person. And notice, are there any cords between you and that person? In the hurt that is in your heart, is there a cord that shouldn't be there? Some sort of attachment. I got to convince him that he's wrong. I got to let him know he hurt me. I'm going to be angry for a long time about this to protect myself. What kind of cords are there that shouldn't be there, but are naturally there if you have those kind of intense reactions? So ask your higher self to simply cut the cords, and see that person just floating away and becoming smaller and smaller and disappearing. They're no longer connected to you in any way. And then there's the hurt to be dealt with. So ask your higher self to heal that hurt and give you an image of what was the earliest time that you had those feelings. And your higher self's going to put a ball of white light into your heart that replaces all those little endings, those connections that shouldn't be there anymore because of who you have become, but are still there in your child or your adolescent. And as your heart heals, so does the little girl. And as you just let her know how loved she is, that, yeah, sometimes words hurt, but that's not who she is. That was just somebody else surviving reality. And let her know how loved she is. And then turn her over to your higher self. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. And what do you notice when you think about the circumstance that you came to us with? What happens? What's important now?
It's an illusion, a faded,
Yes.
and the universe looks at every single individual, and I know I'm never the first one. It's always the other person. Just people got too many thoughts in their minds. But I feel light, and my heart is buzzing.
Yes. And so now your job is to create an image of how do you want it to go next time with anybody. Well, I want them I want us to have a good conversation. I want to talk about happy things, or I want to share an idea that I have and have them receive it. And I'm going to practice how that feels to be heard, to be seen, to be valued. And maybe I start with my higher self. I speak and my higher self loves me. And then as I practice it and I become more comfortable, I start to see myself speaking to others in my world and having them receive what I have to say, and then to feed back to me what they think and what they feel. And it becomes safer and safer to be who I am. We understand that you don't start there, but you can begin now. Because the key is to know that all of that happened is an illusion, and you can disappear it. And you can heal the source of what had you have that experience. Because a lot of times what's popping up is as you reach for what you want more of, what pops up is what is not a resonant match for who you're becoming. So the loving, caring you who shares herself more and more with the world, it's not a resonant match to feel hurt when somebody else speaks to you. Whether they say something you agree with or not doesn't matter. As you let yourself know, I don't have to feel hurt by their opinions. It says something about them that they have their opinion. Doesn't have to say something about me. That's an old mechanism of protection that got triggered, that your little girl needed healing so that you can be free to listen differently. And soon you don't even create that so much anymore. You can still create it. It's still in the range of possibilities. But you will find that you will create it less and less. You will create positive feedback more and more. And that begins truly with loving yourself more, as you did tonight. Does that help?
It's beautiful, Tara. I have I will be doing this more. I know it resonates with and I just have another quick scenario. Why is it so difficult for my love interest to come talk to me? Like, he has these 20 people looking to see where I'm at. I caught it, and I appreciated his interest, and I got a little bit upset, and then I didn't tell him. I told myself, and then I said, "Wait a minute. I know I delayed it before, but I'm ready." Um, I don't know. He is a good match. I observe him. His thoughts are nice, and is it something that I'm doing I mean, he I saw him today that he looked at me from his car, but he didn't approach me. But then I'm testing it. I haven't sent him a message for 5 days to see. And right now his action is, I heard it today, but one of the guys that was going to see where I was working, that he is very uneasy, unhappy that I have not sent him a message, but he hasn't come to talk to me, or maybe he's been there when I haven't been there. So we just want to give him a push. I know you said yes, he was, and what is it? Why is it so hard? He is the man in his human form, and I accept him. I said I accept him, willing to hear him. I need some guidance, please, because it's like driving me human crazy, but I'm calming down because I don't get it. But we'll get it after this.
So it's still important to create the safety in loving yourself more, so that when you express yourself, whatever is the impact is positive. So as you just sharing what you think, what you feel has positive impact. As you practice that in your mind, I know that when I share how I feel or what I think, that I will be received for who I am. As you create that safety within yourself, it becomes easier to express. And as you express, then there's also the receiving of the response. So when you have anxiety, when you have fear, know that you're not really willing to be vulnerable. You're still more likely to protect yourself from disappointment. So as you recognize, okay, wait a minute, on some level, I'm the one who's not ready. So what do I need to know within myself to be ready, to be willing to be loved, to be willing to express love? Because whenever there is true love, there's also the fear of loss of the love. And that has to be addressed. You need to be conscious that when you're willing to be in a loving relationship, automatically there is going to be fear. Fear that you're going to lose it, fear that you can't keep it, fear that you can't hold it, whatever it is. Fear that you can't be responsible to it. And so sit with your higher self and talk about all of that beforehand, so that you become aware, I can hold the love. I can be responsible to it. I can respond. And even if I did lose the love, I have my higher self's love. I know how to receive love. And therefore, I can also create more love. When I make it this or never, that's putting a lot of pressure on creating a perfect reality. When you are growing and you are changing and you are expanding, and who you will be in a year, 2, 5, 10, 20, and onwards changes. You change, you grow, you expand. Your ability to feel and think and be in love is expanding. And so as you allow your higher self to add that sense of this or someone better for me, someone who is able to receive who I am becoming, and to just be willing, this person or someone more suited to me, I'm going to turn it over to my higher self. It's going to be a tendency to want to control the outcome. I want the guarantee. That's the control. But love doesn't involve guarantees or control. They're not in the same resonance. And so just know the fear will be there and the temptation to control love is going to be there. But that's not love. That's not true love. And so as you give yourself permission to be who you are, it will be easier.
Tara,
Yes, dear one.
Before 3 months ago, okay, yes, I understand it. I have opened the channel to welcome him. I wasn't ready back then, and I tested him. He um I've done that with a lot of people, and I feel more sure. Well, not a lot of people. I don't have time to be go doing this another 10, 20 years because the human body ages. He is a very serious man and very truthful, and I just maybe he can help me give him a push or what resonant or mind that he sees me, he looks at me, but is it I or does he have fear or he thinks that more or he's gonna wait a little bit more longer? There's something in there. I need the universe to understand. I need to hear his words because this is my experience, and there's nothing bad going on here. He likes me, and he knows what he does understand. He does understand that I have. He does get. I think you understand that he's willing to accept me. He knows that I can connect. He knows. He knows, Tara. I think you know, Tara.
All right.
Tara.
Given yourself your answer. And so now it's up to you. If there's fear there within you, that's really truly where the fear is. So what would stop you as you understand yourself more? How do I stop myself? What happens when I reach for what I want? How do I stop myself from actually moving forward? So as you look at it from that angle, it gives you a little bit more understanding and a little bit more freedom, and also to forgive yourself for all the times that you already acted and you didn't get what you wanted, or that you held yourself back. We're not sure which one is more your nature, whether you tend to just charge forward and then, oh, well, I didn't get what I wanted, or if you always stop yourself. I see what I want. It's right there, but I can't say the words or I can't express it right. And then I lose the opportunity. So as you work with both of those scenarios, they're extremes. We understand it's not really that way all the time, but there's a logic happening internally that either stops communication and therefore a lack of fulfillment of the outcome, or a barging forward, wanting to control the outcome and then losing the opportunity. So to play with it that way. All right, we love you.
Before you go, can I ask if you see him? Or am I approaching in my face? Approaching to you? I'm creating it. Tara, can you just give me an answer?
Well, you are creating your reality. And whatever you have right now, whatever you see, he's watching, but he's not acting. That's the reality. What do you make it mean that he's watching and not acting? It's you who's giving the meaning. What do you make it mean about yourself? And so as you go deeper inside yourself and say, I'm the one writing that, I'm the one having him not approach me. What do I get out of keeping him at a distance? What do I get out of not fulfilling on my dream? You see, some of you have a dream that is so precious that you'd rather just keep dreaming it and having all the emotions and all the possibility, but never actualizing it, because what if you failed? What if it didn't work out? You'd rather just live in the possibility of it. And so, as you understand, that is a skill. Being a dreamer is a skill. In order to fulfill your destiny as a mapmaker magician, you want to bring those dreams into vision and then into actuality. And so you're at the point where it's a vision. You have the person, you have the opportunity. Now, who do you tell yourself you need to be in order to be worthy of love? And so sit with your higher self and let yourself know you are worthy. You are loved. And then take an action from that place. Does that help?
That is very beautiful. I did see a, a, a heart with and uh and a stick in the middle, and then I actually saw him, and I was in the back. He's in front of it, and I'm back of it with Tara. Is there a meaning to that?
That's for
It's
you.
in my
Sit with your higher self and look to see what's important about that.
I got it. I got it. This is my illusion. This is for I. I know people hear it, but this is for me. And we are at different levels. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I love you, love you, love you, love you. Thank you for being here for us.
Yes, we love you so. Wonderful.
Okay. Hello, Tara. Thank you again for being here and
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
wonderful. Well, I've really just just a lot of things have come up from what other people have been talking about, and so I realize I'm in this rather kind of critical place between two places, and I mean I had some wonderful understanding, realizing my understanding. I went to a couple of art shows and I did an open mic, and one art show, it's a man who's also a well-known architect, and he was doing these pretty abstract, well, very abstract paintings, and most of the people there didn't really like them because they seemed rather there was nothing to them, they thought, in many ways. And I was having this fantastic time. I could just feel so much going on with I just feel all this stuff, and as I do with art. And so when I went to talk to him, I was saying I'm feeling, you know, all this subtle stuff that's happening, and then things kind of burst out in the feeling. And I said, how do you do that? And he said, well, I have a painting underneath, and then a painting underneath, and so yeah, I could see there's this feeling. There's so much there that you can't actually see, but it's there in the feeling, and it again giving me an understanding of how I interpret a lot of stuff, which is through the feeling of it rather than what I can actually see. And then I went to well, I went to another show, which was this amazing woman. I mean, this is the woman. I mean, I just totally fell in love with her, and she was just everything I ever wanted, without even knowing it. And because she was, I didn't know anything about her. I didn't even know that the gallery was her gallery. And she had this massive photographic construction along one huge wall, and then she was talking to an audience about what it was, and we could ask about it and all those sort of things. And she was just so real, and this was an amazing thing. It wasn't even a real thing. I then found out that she's a dancer, and she's married to a very famous rock star, and she's so well. It was just such an amazing experience. And again, I was talking to her about understanding some of the things that I saw in that photograph and some other photographs, and I was realizing again my understanding of what she was doing, and then she'd kind of come back and agree, and there were things that she hadn't necessarily seen, but there was just I just love it when I'm in that sort of situation, and with people who I think can be, I could have been like that, as it were, somehow, and I kind of, because I've always been very into a lot of anyway, there were ways I was thinking that I could have been. Also, I was acting today, acting in Shakespeare, and again, just seeing my understanding of the Shakespeare is, and it I notice it triggers other people, and then on the other hand, I've got these other things that I'm doing, like I'm still trying to get my new phone done, and I'm just not doing anything about it. It's getting absolutely critical because they're changing stuff, and the guy that will do stuff will only do the basic things, and I'm wondering whether I'm going to be able to take it over. And in the meantime, I can't really make many phone calls, although I do it through my computer, although my computer's shutting down as well. And then the bed bugs, I still haven't really got anything very constructive, although I haven't seen many. I saw one today. And I'm just thinking, well, this is all going to crash. Everything's going to crash. And then, today, do I go and get free food and feel kind of bad about myself about that, and then it not being very not being really what I want. And although I am changing that, today I went at the last minute and it didn't look as if there was a great deal, and so I was asking, is there any more of this or any more of that, and they were saying, well, we can't really do that, we can do that. And then I looked in the bag and I saw, oh, it was a bit more than I thought of what I wanted. And then the woman came out and said, I said, well, is there any more fruit? And she said, well, no, not really. And she said, I'll go and have a look. And she came out with some wonderful fruit and that I really wanted. and so I realized that I actually came back from it because I was engaged. I didn't just go with the but there's these two sides going on, and it's, I mean, I understand that it's happening. I mean, you've been talking about it. This is what's happening at the moment. But it's, the downside, it just gets me so worried that I'm not going to get through it. And the upside, I mean, I enjoy it so much. And then I think, but I don't know how to keep that going. And I'm just wondering where to go with it. I mean, what you said last week, I mean, I'm getting very dispirited and thinking, how to get out of this, and then I kind of resist it. But last week we got very excited, and during the Thursday, I went in feeling very zero and came out wonderfully joyed up by what happened, and I'm feeling very, very nervous. Is it because I'm in this midway place?
Take it back to okay, I create my own reality.
Yes.
And I have in every moment, every second of every day, I have choices. I can decide who I'm going to be. I've already made the choice that I am the map maker magician, that I have the optimal future self already in dominion, who's impacting me now. And I also am aware that I'm not there yet, meaning it's a work in progress. And yet I have more happiness, more joy, more creativity, more experiences than I do of the other that I don't appreciate so much, that have me worried or stressed or whatever. And so it's really about building the new image, isn't it? It's really about taking the time to think and feel and also do differently. So when I'm thinking and feeling and doing what I do when I go to an art gallery or when I have discussions about spirituality or when I go out in nature, it's a different me. It's the me that I like. I think and feel differently. And really letting in, oh, what if I chose to think and feel differently in other activities also? Because the other activities are weighed down by the you that you know so well.
Yes.
And so the mundane you, we'll call it. It's the lesser self. But it's the mundane you, the one that gets up and does what he needs to do, and he works his way through the program for the day and decides that's going to be really fun or that looks really boring. So it's the meaning that you give your day. Do you wake up into it knowing you get to choose the meaning? Or do you just wake up and, well, let's see what sticks today. Let's see how I react. And then I'll just go from there. And so as you begin to understand, I can actually influence how I'm going to feel. It's not a perfect science. It's not that you just set it and forget it, so to speak. But when you use the segment intending process that we've described, where you choose, how am I going to feel at the end of this? So before you leave the house, you know you're going to go get the food, and you know that you may or may not get what you want. That's all part of the possibilities. But what would it feel like for me to have it be the way I want it to be with harm to none? Well, it would feel good. I would be delighted. I would even throw in some fun conversation or see myself looking in the bag and, oh, wow, I didn't expect this or that. Or I had this or that last week and look, it's there again. This is so wonderful. So you segment intend all of that in advance. Now, in this case, you didn't necessarily do it that way, but you had that outcome, didn't you? It's like, oh, by staying engaged and asking, do you maybe have something more? By asking, I wanted to create a positive reality than I had before.
Yes, and I know all the time that I can do that, and there's so much going on about, oh, no, you can't, no, no, it's not going to work, and then yeah, I just need to be able to get into a little bit of uplift, and it can happen. Yes, I know that.
Because you're building a new neurology, you see, the old neurology is a well-worn path of, oh, I don't really matter, and what I want doesn't really matter, and why bother, and all of the things that you tend to say, I'm not getting anywhere. I feel like I should get somewhere, but I'm not getting anywhere. I still have this problem or that problem. That's the well-worn path. It's like a groove in your brain.
Yes. Yes.
And you need to create a new one
Yes.
that is filled with light and love and good feelings and happiness and joy and magic and miracles. And you're doing that by having these other experiences. You fill in, you're creating this new path. It's
Yeah.
actually connecting thoughts, feelings, behaviors, emotion, uh, sense of future, all of these things, they're building in your neurology. And
Yes.
you're more inclined to feel those feelings now than ever before. You have many more instances of feeling uplifted and optimistic and connected to an optimal future than you did, say, a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And as you really let in, oh, I'm building neurology. I have different thoughts, feelings, and behaviors when I'm focused on something that I think is fun, something that I enjoy doing, or am with people. When I'm with other people, I feel more myself, whatever that means. I feel more real. I know that I'm having impact. And that is delicious. That is lovely. That is what I want more of. I want to know that I have value, that I matter. And if I rely on my child or my adolescent to give me that, it's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
But if I'm with them in their reality, then it's but when I try to have their mattering and their fulfillment fulfill me now, it doesn't work because they have different priorities. My child doesn't really care about all my problems. My child just wants to have fun and be innocent and be playful and have magic and have unseen friends show up from the imaginal realm and just wants a hug or just quiet, just to be able to play and focus and explore new worlds all by himself. That's peace. He doesn't want to interact with you about your problems. That's not his reality. But you watching and observing him in his, it fills a hole in the heart. It connects you to something more. It reminds you that you have a higher self, that you are loved, that you are someone more, and that you do have tools that he doesn't have yet, that he doesn't need in his reality. You have processes, you have the ability to program, you have the ability to think and feel your way through anything. And as you let that image of you really take hold, the me that is capable, I'm not aware of him all the time. Sometimes he's latent. And I don't know how to resurrect him. It's almost like if I'm in the me that doesn't know, then I can't be in the me that knows. And so I have to actually detach from feeling a lack of compassion for myself or a lack of love, whatever the lack is, lack of hope, lack of dreams. I have to actually put that me down, say, I'm not going to be that me. I'm just going to cross an invisible line and I'm going to step into the me that remembers that I have a higher self and that I have a soul whose sole purpose is to grow and expand and explore. And when I make exploration my priority, my day changes. even the mundane becomes more fulfilling. Because I'm thinking and feeling differently. My attitude is different. My beliefs are, they're creating new beliefs. I'm creating a belief that I can have more of what I want. That this life isn't empty and meaningless. That it has meaning. And that my meaning changes depending on how I think and feel. But as I reach for more luminous ideas, my higher self is giving them to me. My higher self's right there, loving me every step of the way. So important. And now you have this sense of, wow, what if I could have a relationship with someone I admire? Someone who feels so real to me. Wow, I'm dreaming myself being in relationship. I'm letting that matter. I'm letting that be more real. Yeah, I don't have the solutions right now, but I'm manifesting someone that I could envision being in a relationship. And that is different than the me, say, a year ago, or however long it's before you were really focused on thinking, I might want to be in a relationship. The lesser self knows that, oh, it's safer to just be alone. Nobody to control you, nobody to remind you of inadequacies. All of that is the fear. It's safer to be alone. Whatever's in there. It's your own, you don't have to share. But the you that loves is generating a future possibility where you are in relationship. And that you is growing and changing and becoming more, even while you're familiar with the old you, the one that stays safe and well, I'm not ready yet. I don't know if I could be in a relationship because, well, I haven't fixed this or I haven't fixed that, or I still have all these obligations, or if I put myself against the standard of famous people who are very, very wealthy, well, I just don't see myself there and maybe I shouldn't want the relationship. But that's ridiculous. Why put those two topics together when relationship is really about being loving and sharing your gifts and being available to being loving, giving someone else the opportunity to explore love. And so as you change the conversation that's going on in your head around why you shouldn't, isolating yourself as a strategy of being safe. It's an illusion of safety. It's not necessarily true. What would you want instead? Well, I actually feel more myself when I'm interacting with other people. And so safety actually occurs in communicating with someone who understands me and who I understand. A different foundation for safety. So as you let in, I am growing, I am changing, and I'm finding that I want more. I don't want less. And there is that sense of frustration that comes from, I want more, but I don't yet see how I'm going to get it. And so we want you to lean on the metaphysics, lean on the future self who already has it, the optimal future you who's already created it. What was important about having what you're inspired to have? He's got it already. What's important to him? What does it allow him to be? Find what motivates him. What are his values? And as you let yourself be that you more and more in your imagination, what happens is you begin to recognize when the opportunities show up to create more of that. So we know that there's a lot of instruction in there, and not necessarily anything specific, but just listening is healing something, is healing that either or disconnection that can happen. So as you think, oh, I'm either feeling great or I'm not feeling great. And then getting upset when you don't feel great. What there is to do is not to get upset, though it makes sense that you would be because your focus of attention is on not getting what you want. But instead, begin to actively change how you focus your thoughts and your feelings. I'm going to spend a minute imagining something new, something that I want. I'm going to maybe lean on a memory of what I created recently, last weekend or a day ago. As you lean on those touchstones and let yourself motivate yourself to become more. See, these are states of being. There's an abundance of energy available to be in a state of being. When you try to say, I'll know it when I have this or that in the illusion, no, it's being the state first that manifests it out here. And so imagine yourself having whatever you think will be the evidence. Instead of focusing on waiting, I'll feel good when I have it. No, you need to feel good and know that you do have it in the future and begin to design the you that has it already. Become more conscious of that you, because that is giving you the skill that you're building on how to change reality in an instant. Each of you are reaching for a new skill. I want this to be more of an illusion. I want to know I can change it. And so I need to practice changing it in my imagination so that you gain that skill, build that muscle of shifting from seeing what you don't want to seeing what you do want. Because that is the more real. That creates the resonance. And then you step into it and you begin to explore the resonance and you begin to manifest validation, verification, actuality of what it is that that resonance represents to you. Does that help?
Yes, I absolutely understand, and I try to get into my imagination, and I'm finding myself just somehow being less and less able to do it. I'm just getting more and more frozen as the downsides just seem to be getting more powerful in a way, and I don't think I can take my eyes off it, but then I'm not doing anything about those things either. And the future, the idea of the future is has become more. It's just become much more. Um, uh, what's the word? Um, um, can't think of the word. Um, um, just much more likely, and that everything's just going to go terribly wrong, and I've just got to somehow just stay still and so that it won't, and because I don't know what to do about it all going wrong. And I do know what it is to have things going right. And but there's something in me really just fighting against it. It just seems so, the bedbug thing is really now, I mean, it's been going on for a while, and I say I don't really see them, but and I'm trying to come up with some of the ideas, and going for something really simple and easy to come, but I find it difficult putting the energy behind it somehow.
So there's still in the way that you just described that, it sounds like you're still trying to do it right. You're trying to effort correctly. But as you let that go, this isn't about doing. This is about being. And being begins in imagination. Being is a sense of well-being, a sense of love, a sense of connection. In that love, in that connection, in that sense of well-being, as you begin to imagine, what would I think? What would I feel if I knew that I had what I wanted already? And then you're confronted immediately with, I didn't choose anything yet. I didn't say what I wanted. When I'm in this state of love and well-being and connection with higher self, I don't necessarily want things. I don't necessarily have to manifest anything. Now, that's not necessarily true for everybody. Some people absolutely want the manifestation. But when you're in that place of peace, of that place of connection, of belonging, of love, all is well. There's this moment where you get to choose something for fun, because it would mean growing, it would mean expanding or exploring or being curious, having fun. It would answer this higher octave need that you have that comes from soul. I just have this urge to go have a new experience. And some of you answer that, I'm going to book some travel, or I'm going to go buy a new book, or I'm going to go meet some friends. For you, I'm going to go act. I'm going to go to a gallery. I'm going to immerse myself in art and culture. That's when I'm inspired. So then, okay, but I still have this problem to solve. Yeah, but if you're in this exalted state, how important is it to resolve the problem? How important is it for you to be the one who fixes it? Or are you willing to have it be received from higher self, from soul, from spirit? Are you willing to have the answer just present itself? I can't see my way forward in a way that I believe is elegant and easy. And so I don't want to do anything until a new solution arrives. For you to recognize a new solution requires you to simply be in a different resonance where you have connection. Yeah, but I can't get there. That's one conversation. That's one script. The you that never gets it done, the you that tries but fails, the you that has a problem and it can't be fixed and therefore, well, why bother anyway, is a script that was written a long time ago by someone much smaller than you, much younger, and was either taught that's the way to respond or was told that's all you can do. But that's not who you are. And when you really let your higher self lift that shame of being from the child, from the adolescent, and you have done this, and it's okay to ask again. In case I didn't catch it all, higher self, do it again, please. Lift the shame that tells me I'm not enough, that I'm not good enough, that I can't fix what's wrong with me, that I have a fatal flaw. Higher self, I don't want that message anymore. It's not who I am. And I'm going to ask it to be lifted. And when I'm free of it and my brain is clear of those energies, those resonances, that shame of being is lifted out of me, returned to whoever gave it to me. It wasn't my stuff. I can't process it. Now I'm free to think and feel, have new thoughts, have new feelings, to be aware. Wow, I've got so much passion and creativity. And look at all the wonderful conversations that I've created and how much I've received from others and how much fun it can be to be in this world. Now, in that resonance of joyful exuberance, I can know that I deserve to receive from my higher self solutions to whatever those problems are. Solutions I haven't thought of, or I would have done them already. Or somebody said them, but because of where I was at, I couldn't really hear it in the way that would be productive, where I could grow from it. But now I can hear and see and think and feel and believe something new. My reality can change. And I can also know that in keeping the lesser self in place, on some level, I'm testing my higher self. Well, if you were really that powerful, why haven't you fixed it yet? And that's an interesting question. What about me keeping reality the way it is, knowing my higher self cannot intervene because it's a universe of free will? And if I don't willingly give permission for my higher self to intervene, they cannot and they will not. Because this is your exploration of energy information. It's for you to explore and for you to choose, pick and choose. What do you want to keep exploring and what do you want to be done with? And what would it be to have something new to explore? But when you have a position of less than, you're testing your higher self. Well, prove that you're more. Show me that you're powerful. And your higher self just smiles and says, we know how powerful you are. Show us how powerful you are. All it takes is willingness. And so as you give that explicit permission, okay, I didn't really know that I was the holdup. But now I can see the value of thinking that I am. I've been holding things up, that I could have solutions for my higher self. That life could be easy, could be elegant. Solutions can come to solutionless problems. I don't have to fix myself first. I just have to change. And when you really let that in, you can finally relax and have fun with reality. Oh my gosh, I thought it was this big test that I was going to fail, that I had been failing for many years. I didn't know I was testing in order to feel more safe. But it's far more safe to be willing to change and to ask my higher self to intervene, to allow my higher self to be more than even I can imagine. Creates more safety. You have been taught in the chauvinism that you are not enough and you have to fix what's wrong before you deserve to have what you want. And it was a lie. That it's embedded so deeply in your psyche, in your identity. And when you free yourself from that and just set it down and say, that was wrong. I thought I could earn my way to my divinity. I thought I could guarantee the love, but I can't. And I need to ask the shame to be lifted by someone more than me. But first I have to acknowledge there is someone more. And because you are a mapmaker magician, you came in with a priority of seeking a relationship with God and Goddess, of knowing there is someone more. And you met your higher self, and you have allowed your higher self in here and there, one a little bit here, a little bit there, but not 100%. Because when you do, reality changes instantly. And so that's where you're at. Part of me wants to hold on to little old me. But I'm spending more time in Me the More, who's connected, and having great experiences. And it's starting to create a tension, a friction, a frustration. And I have to integrate. And part of it is lifting the last bit of the shame. You did the best you could with what you had, but it was based on a falsehood. And you came in to explore that dynamic. Well, what if I completely obscure my connection and my spirituality? Will I still, in the end, will the love and the light still guide me? On the other side, before coming into the physical plane, you're like, of course, how can I ever not know that? Of course, the love and the light are always going to guide me. But then you end up in the density of the physical plane, and suddenly it's all obscured, and you have to create it. You have to listen for it. You have to create the new perceptions that allow you to see it in everything. And you have done that. And you recognize when it's not there, and you know with certainty when it is there. And when you let yourself really recognize, I have developed that skill, I don't need to obscure it anymore. I can see with clarity. I can be guided by the love and the light in everything because I can count on it. And it is who I am. There is no doubt. There is no fear in that version of you. Does that help?
Yes, very much. Yeah,
There's a
it's
lot in there, but in the between the words, make the choice. Simple. It's simple because of who you have become, that you have done the work, that you are enough. You are good enough. You are awake enough that you can make that choice again and again, as many times as it takes until it sticks. Beautiful.
yes.
All right. We love you so. And we do sense it is time to wrap it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, certainly so. We love you so, and we appreciate each and every conversation.
Thank you. And I would say the same, that I love you so much, Tara.
And we
And
feel
I appreciate every
absolutely.
conversation.
All right. And so we go for now to each and every one of you. As you go into your night, allow the integration. Ask your higher self to intervene, to lift any last bit of shame that is in the child, in the adolescent, and even in the young adult, so that you can receive more love. And so we go for now. We go with love and peace until next time, as we bring Katrina back. We love you so.
Thank you.